Try News 360 for April 10th, 2018. I'm Connor Robinson.
And I'm Angelo Petruzzi. Tonight on Triad News, we look in on how the Panthers are progressing in the world of lacrosse.
And later, a special look at the latest of fast food. But first, a look at how daylight savings time may be falling out of style in the States.
It has been about a month since daylight savings time, but the lost hour when getting up still affects some people. In one state, this time-based fatigue is becoming a thing of the past.
Florida lawmakers are the first in the nation to pass a bill signaling their intent to stay on daylight saving times year-round, if allowed by Congress. Try News 360 reporter Sydney Goldberg travels to Florida to see how an hour makes a difference.
What does daylight savings mean for your alarm clocks? Florida Governor Rick Scott just recently signed a year-round daylight savings bill.
I think the time change is great. I think that more available light so you don't need to use energy, as well as the fact that we can be productive all day and maximize the opportunities of what we can get done.
I'm looking forward to it being lighter at night and then darker in the morning because then I can sleep in longer.
Florida is just one step away from living up to its nickname as the Sunshine State. Others have negative things to say about the change.
I'm not a really big fan of the time change. I think that it's going to throw off the TV schedule. Primetime games on Sunday and Monday night are going to start later at like 9:30 and not going to end till 1, and that's going to throw off my sleep schedule.
But it's far from a done deal. The U.S. Congress would need to pass a law allowing Florida to be exempt from the federal uniform time zones, and if approved, it would affect everything from your commute to your sleep.
If enough states pass legislation similar to Florida's, the end of daylight saving times may gain momentum all over the United States.
And we won't have to try and remember which way to set the alarm.
When it comes to outside food vendors, people think of tents, small outdoor grills, or at worst, lukewarm hot dogs swimming in a cart.
But nowadays, people can get almost anything they want at any event they want, all because of a truck.
Try News 360 reporter Lexi Davis sampled some of the offerings.
Great people of all ages from the Triad area were packed in the Mendenhall Transportation Terminal in High Point. They were all delighted with the aroma of all the sweet and savory tastes of some pretty fun treats, like pizza, tacos, and mini donuts.
Hi, I'm eating some carnita tacos I got from the Azteca stand right over there. And by stand, I mean truck.
There were 16 different food trucks at the food truck rodeo that were packed bumper to bumper.
Good music, good food. The beer line is pretty long.
They had free face painting, balloon animals, and of course, beer with some live entertainment. It's not white tablecloths, but some even think it's better.
Taqueria Azteca, and we're from Greensboro, North Carolina, and we come to all the food truck festivals in the Triad, and all throughout the states. We've been to Wilmington, Virginia, and South Carolina, and we've been doing this for about 6 years now.
Even the sloppy nachos at the Bacon Essence food truck were hard to resist.
So we decided to sponsor this event. It brings the community together. We support local charities and believe that bringing everybody together supports a worthwhile cause.
Food trucks have become a phenomenon all over the country for all kinds of events.
Each of them vending anything from exotic foods, sweets, and specialty beverages. Those food trucks are becoming a huge trend.
But if you missed out on this event, don't worry, because food trucks will be everywhere this summer as it warms up.
Dating, the art of meeting people to find and cultivate love.
Doesn't matter your age, getting up to the nerve to ask someone out makes everyone's hands get sweaty.
Triad News 360 reporter Sydney Goldberg joins us with more. Sydney?
How hard dating is these days. Online dating is the online way to meet your significant other.
Dating apps seem to be the ideal way to meet a romantic partner these days. But what is it really like to be on these dating apps?
I've had really good luck with social media apps like dating apps, like scary good luck. I've had 3 relationships that happened off of Tinder.
Tinder can lead you to some pretty crazy experiences. I actually one time met a guy on Tinder and then we jumped off a bridge in the mountains in North Carolina and then we're still in contact today, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we met on Tinder and things have been going great. We've been dating for like 2 years now. How was your day?
It was good. How was yours?
It was good. I'm about to go to class, but I just wanted to call you and tell you I love you.
I love you too.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Alright, sounds good.
Bye.
So when you look at the statistics on online dating, it actually shows that relationships that start online, whether we're using dating apps or dating websites, can be as successful, if not even more successful, than relationships that meet in person.
However, other users have had negative experiences with dating apps such as Tinder and Bumble.
Okay, so I was talking to a couple guys on Bumble and I realized that they were brothers, and I pulled up the roster. Turns out one is a senior on the baseball team and the other one is a sophomore. And they were both talking to me at the same time, and I don't know if they knew.
Whether you have good or bad dating app experience, it is prevalent that Tinder and Bumble are popular amongst college students today. I'm Sydney Goldberg for HPU TV.
Finds that special person online, but there are more and more success stories. Joining me live from Florida is Allie Glasshauer and her fiance. Tell me a little bit more about how you guys met.
Hi, so I'm Allie, this is my fiance John, and we met on eHarmony actually about exactly 4 years ago this month. He was living in Maui at the time in Hawaii, and I was in Florida, and we just went through the whole communication process on eHarmony first for a while. And it was a lot of talking on the phone and Skyping, and in July of that year, in 2014, I flew out to Maui to officially meet him, and we had a great 2 weeks, and at the end, we made it exclusive, and then he moved here 5 months later, and we've been living together since December of 2014, and it's just been going really well. We got engaged in December of 2016, exactly 2 years to the date of when he moved in, and we're planning a wedding for September of this year.
Well, congratulations to both of you. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you, guys. And back to you in the studio.
The internet does make trying to find someone somewhat easier, but you still have to make contact and ask them out for the first time.
You know what? I'm not sure if humans will ever get used to asking people out for the first time, even with so much technology there is in the 21st century.
When we come back, a closer look at the team with the hardest schedule in the country.
And how they responded to the challenge. We'll be right back.
Littering is a problem that is slowly destroying our Earth, one piece of trash at a time. $11.5 billion is spent each year cleaning up litter among the United States. Cigarette butts account for 50% of all litter in America. Be responsible with your trash. Wait till you're near a park or gas station to safely throw away your trash in a trash can. We only get one planet. Stop the littering.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Hello and welcome back to Triad News 360. I'm Angelo Petruzzi.
And I'm Connor Robinson. Tonight we have a special segment on the drug epidemic that is happening in America, specifically in the city of High Point, North Carolina.
Triad News 360 reporters Paris Dunford and Ashley Brooke Daniels join us to examine this overwhelming issue in our communities. Paris, Ashley Brooke.
The country and leaving wrecked families in its wake.
Law enforcement has all it can handle, but there's no way, they're not giving up. I spoke with the people who put on the uniforms and take up the fight.
Our nation is going through a crisis. The opioid epidemic is something that is impacting states and counties all over our country. 316 overdoses were recorded in the High Point area last year in 2017. Here I am standing in front of Caring Services, which is a recovery program for people who are wishing to change their lifestyles. I'm Ashley Brooke Daniels reporting for Triad News 360.
Thank you, Deputy Dylan Wiesner from High Point Police Department, for taking the time and answering our questions.
From 1999 to 2016, more than 12,000 North Carolinians opioid-related overdose. Carolina Health and Human Services.
This crisis began as prescription drugs were prescribed at higher doses and more often, which led to an epidemic ending with heroin addicts.
High Point is one of the North Carolinian cities that is truly struggling.
High Point is considered the heroin capital of North Carolina, according to High Point Deputy Shannon Payne, with 316 opioid-related deaths in 2017 and 51 already in the year of 2018.
We obtained these next few statistics from the High Point Police Department public record files from the HPPD Chief Kenneth Schultz and discussed them with the Deputy Shannon Payne. The majority of these people abusing these types of drugs are white, male, and females. This demographic of people take up to 300 deaths out of the 316.
The most devastating factor is that some children were present to witness these overdoses that resulted in death. 22 out of the 316 of deaths were seen by children.
This epidemic is also making our streets an even more unsafe. 14 traffic accidents in 2017 involved people overdosing at the wheel. The opioid epidemic is not only causing problems for law enforcement, but is devastating families and communities.
Triad News 360 has a story on one family that was ruined by addiction.
Morgan Goldstein is an average 20-year-old living away at college. Her family life, however, isn't so average.
My mother is a drug addict and she has been abusing painkillers since I was in 5th grade about.
Goldstein's mother's addiction started by using her children's medications.
Her drug addiction essentially split up my parents. My mom cheated on my dad and my parents are now divorced. So it has completely torn apart my family.
Goldstein believes that people need to be more cautious when it comes to drugs.
The drugs started with my brother. Actually, my younger brother is severely ADHD and he is prescribed Adderall and Concerta. And my dad noticed he was doing really bad in school, and my dad checked his pills one day and they were all gone, and he hadn't been taking pills for like the last 6 months. My mom was taking them.
Goldstein believes that people need to be more cautious when it comes to drugs.
Something that people really need to be aware about, and how I don't think people understand how hereditary it really is. I know, like, I always watch myself.
Morgan hasn't talked to her mom in over 2 years, but her mother's addiction has really brought her brothers and dad to be closer than ever. I'm Paris Dunford, reporting for Triad News 360.
Addiction has caused to her and her daughter's relationship cannot be repaired.
Morgan mentioned that her mom would go away for months at a time to rehab, which caused her to be absent from her children's young years. There is a recovery available that have the goal to help these individuals get their lives back on track. We had the opportunity to speak to services and experience what the environment was like in downtown High Point.
Organizations like Caring Services and High Point are trying to give these citizens the help they need. Teresa Hinkle, the Program Development Director at Caring Services, explained to Triad News 360 how the organization is a 2-year program for low-income to no-income addicts. They do not accept any form of health insurance, and they are the only organization in High Point that provides housing for the program. Hinkle says that a majority of the people they receive as patients start abusing prescription medications from their wisdom teeth surgery or a high school sports injury.
In my interview with Deputy Dylan Wiesner, he told me that these entities such as government, law enforcement, and rehab centers need to work together to end this problem.
According to North Carolina Health and Human Services, they are working on connecting people to preventative health care, substance use disorder treatment, and community support.
To combat the issue, North Carolina government came up with the North Carolina Opioid Action Plan, which began in 2017 and ends in 2021.
Some strategies in the plan include reducing the oversupply of prescription opioids and reducing the diversion of prescription drugs and the flow of illicit drugs.
The government is also looking for the community, increasing community awareness and prevention, and making naloxone, the combat drug to opioids, widely available.
Throughout the action plan, they will be measuring the effectiveness of these strategies based on results. This plan is considered a living document, and changes can be made as the government monitors the results.
Hopefully this crisis can be combated and the community partners work together. Thank you for joining us on this special segment of the opioid epidemic. I'm Ashley Brooke Daniels.
And I'm Paris Dunford. Back to you, Connor and Angelo.
Thank you, Ashley Book and Paris, for that in-depth look at the opioid crisis in our neighborhoods.
Coming up next on Triad News 360, we will be looking at a team with the toughest schedule in the country, and they're right here in the Triad.
And more on High Point University Sports. We'll be right back.
Littering is a problem that is slowly destroying our Earth, one piece of trash at a time. $11.5 billion is spent each year cleaning up litter among the United States. Cigarette butts account for 50% of all litter in America. Be responsible with your trash. Wait till you're near a park or gas station to safely throw away your trash in a trash can. We only get one planet. Stop the littering.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
How am I going to pay for this?
Welcome back to Triad News 360. I'm Connor Robinson.
And I'm Angelo Petrucci.
Imagine losing game after game against some of the toughest competitors in the country. There's a local team in the Triad area that knows what it's like to battle back when the odds are against them. Triad News 360 reporter Cassidy O'Brien and Shannon Cox were able to give us a closer look at a brotherhood like no other.
Ball, here comes the shot, it's scored.
Cavaliers winning the face-off battle. Here's a quick shot and score.
He's in front of the cage. 1-0 Blue Devils. Seconds into this one, and Duke has the early lead.
Dedication, perseverance, ambition. This is High Point University's men's lacrosse team. They have competed against some of the highest-ranked teams this season. Senior attacker Connor Robinson feels those tough games have made them stronger than ever before.
I mean, everyone hates losing games, but I mean, we have, by statistical records, the toughest schedule in Division I lacrosse. The beginning of the season, we started off pretty rocky. We didn't win, well, any games until a couple weeks ago. But I mean, we battled back. We're keeping fighting. No one has a quitting mentality in our team, and we're all still bought in and believe that we can still come back and win the SoCon advance to the NCAA tournament.
This team has never lost hope in themselves, and senior Jason Ashwood described to us what this team has meant to him these past 4 years.
It's meant the world to me, you know. These other seniors, they're my best friends, and when you spend basically every waking second with a group of guys and you go through the stuff that we do, they become your brothers and your family.
Dedication, perseverance, ambition. Reporting for Triad News 360, this is Shannon Cox and Cassidy O'Brien.
Looking ahead, the High Point University men's lacrosse team will continue their fight in the hopes that they will advance to the men's NCAA tournament. They hope to clinch their next victory on their home turf against VMI this upcoming Friday, April 13th. Connor, you're actually on the team. Did the first part of the season discourage you or motivate you?
You know, no one wants to go down 0-6, especially in non-conference play. But, you know, the conference play, it's a new season. We don't look at it as we're 0-6. We look like we're 0-0 going into conference play. And we've done very well against our conference opponents. We're 3-1. We're tied for first. So it really brought the team spirits up. Nobody's really discouraged. It sucks we couldn't get an at-large bid into the NCAA tournament, but we're still fighting for a spot in the Southern Conference tournament and with hopes to make it to Memorial Day weekend.
Sounds good. Thanks, Connor. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Continuing on the topic of sports, we have Triad News 360 sports reporter Nick Zorian joining us with updates on the Panthers' current endeavors through the ranks. Nick?
Use the mic that I have.
It's in here. The mic is in here.
Switch the channel.
No.
He's supposed to have my mic. But
Oh.
he already
Oh, you're
I don't have it on.
That's all the time we have tonight. I'm Angelo Petrucci.
And I'm Connor Robinson. Thanks for joining us for HPU News. Have a great night.